Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Coach's Corner. Each week, of course, we'll have a different coach featuring Ponca City High School sports. Obviously, we'll have Coach Fry on each week talking about the Wildcat football team, and we'll also be talking about softball, cross country, and all the other sports that go along in the fall and into the winter. A lot of things going on right now as we record our program about a week out from school, but we thought it'd be a good idea to have our athletic director in, our new athletic director, to talk about some of the things that have gone on this summer in the athletic office and also kind of prepare you for those fall sports. Again, it is that time where the girls softball team is already ready to start their season. Football starts very soon. Of course, volleyball and cross country, and we have very competitive teams in all those sports. Our new athletic director is certainly not a person that is new to Ponca City or this area, Dwight Winburn. If you recall, about a month before school let out in 2010, Coach Winburn was named the new athletic director at Ponca City High School, and so with those new responsibilities, I would imagine came a little bit of a different summer than maybe you originally thought, Coach.
Exactly. It has moved very quickly. They say when you're busy, time flies, and boy, has it flown. It's hard to believe that school's starting.
Absolutely. Coach Winburn's been our girls basketball coach for 3 years and saw an opportunity to get into the administration while he will be our girls basketball coach again this year. The administration side certainly is something you've done in the past, and how has it gone so far? I haven't talked to you very much this summer, but has it been a smooth transition?
It has. Everything has gone well. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I've got to know the coaches on a better relationship at this point, getting to know them a lot closer and a lot better, and I'm excited about it. And Rob came home from Kansas when he went to camp up there and had a great time in Kansas. Football team, I think, went undefeated, won a trophy, and so they're excited about their season. I was visiting with Jamie this morning, and she's excited. They were practicing today and went out and watched softball just about 30 minutes ago, and they were doing very well against Aqua on a scrimmage this morning. So got things going. We're excited. Got moved into our new offices, and they're really nice. It's a really good situation.
I've got to go over because the refurbishing of the Allen Robson Fieldhouse as it continues, and piece by piece, that was one of the last pieces, was moving from the long hall back up front where you and Sarah Krager now pretty much greet people when they come in the facility. You're the first people they see. What a nice addition, and I'm sure it makes it more convenient for you to see people as they come in the building.
It is. Everything's a win-win. It's better for us because we can see people when they come in, and it's better for the people because they don't have to search to find that office because it's just right there. And what a nice facility it is now. It really made a difference. So I'm very appreciative as an athletic director to have that type of working situation. It's really nice.
As our basketball coach, your summers are always filled with summer camps here, and I'm sure you have helped in the past at other camps. And did that all change when you became athletic director? Did the focus suddenly become not only your basketball program, but you also had to start taking a look at all the other responsibilities of the other sports?
It's quite a change, really. I mean, you're focused in on yours, and that doesn't change. You're still focused on that. But now you have to share that focus a little bit more with all the other programs. And so it's going to stretch me pretty thin this summer and also stretch me during the school year. But I knew that going in, and I'm looking forward to it. To me, it's a challenge, and if life is not met with some challenges, why, it's pretty boring. So to say the least, it's not going to be boring this year.
Now, you come out of the classroom and you'll be full-time athletic director then?
That's correct. 7:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning till dark 30, however late it is, while I'll be there.
Well, you mentioned something interesting. As a co-worker with other coaches, it's probably a little less formal. You get to know them on a less formal basis, but when you in essence become the athletic director, and the term boss would be appropriate, but I'm not sure that you look at it that way. You do, though, have to view the coaches in a little bit of a different light, don't you?
It is a different light. Of course, I like to feel like I'm a co-worker. The boss term, I guess on paper, when you look at it on paper, I guess I'm that. The final decision, I guess, has to come to my attention, but I like to accept this responsibility as a coworker. I want to work with them and not be a ruler. I'm not that kind of a person.
Right.
As an administrator, as a principal, I I accepted that responsibility as making the final say, but yet I was a coworker with those teachers. I was a mentor. And same with the coaches. I want to be a mentor to them. I want to be someone that they can talk to, not be afraid to come in and sit down and visit about things, and understand that I'm on their side, and I want to try to make their program the best that it can be. And we want Ponca City Athletics to be great. I mean, that's just a simple fact. My role has moved from girls basketball being great to girls basketball still being great, but now football and swimming and tennis and golf and soccer and everything, and softball, everything else being great too.
A lot of people watching this know that from December until March, you're on the sidelines of our basketball team, but you have a vast experience in many other areas, including being an athletic director, being a principal, which is over everything. So you bring with, I know you hope, the knowledge and experience to be able to handle this position too.
It felt like I was home again. Especially this morning, I had some things come up that I had experienced before. And so a lot of things aren't new. They're things that I did as an administrator, and it's just a little different light, it's a little different twist, but basically been down that road before. So the experience is valuable to me to know how to handle the situation that you face. And there are going to be many, they're going to be different, but we want to handle them in a very professional way. And again, I want to emphasize that my role now is to see that Ponca City Athletics is great, period, just great.
When I was thinking of some line of questioning for you, I did come up with one that I really thought was appropriate, because a lot of times in a school like Ponca, we've had great athletic directors. I've worked with Bob Ford, I've worked with Jerry Runyon, I've worked with Rusty Benson, Joel Zier, and a lot of these guys were athletic directors and got out of coaching, so they were in that position for a long time, where you have, I think, a little bit of uniqueness in that as a coach, you had a specific idea when you approached an athletic director about an idea, about a problem, and so being so fresh from that position, it may give you a little different insight when a coach comes to you and says, I need this, or I want this, or this is something we need to look at. You've recently, I mean just as recently as 5 months ago, you've been right there in that coach's position.
Exactly right, and it enables me to understand what they're thinking. If you've never been there, you don't know. And so I can relate to it from their standpoint, and I can relate to it from an administrator's standpoint. So I can see both sides, and it helps you to understand it. Same way when you're dealing with parents. I've been a parent. I understand how they feel, and so that knowledge and that experience is invaluable. It prepares you for making those decisions that are oftentimes very difficult, very hard, and not easy to do, but it helps you to do that.
One of the main, it may be the main responsibility, there's a lot of them, so I won't put it that way, but one of the main things is coaches, obviously, and I think we're fortunate in Ponca City. We're going through a time period where we haven't had to go out and find head coaches, even assistant coaches. Our coaches and our programs, both high school and in the middle school level, they're pretty stable right now. Would you agree?
I agree. They're very stable, and the staff we have are first-class people. As I was talking with some of them this morning, I was so impressed with their first-class attitude about the way they're approaching things. Very professional, and so that to me makes my job easier, because I know I'm dealing with people that approach their jobs with a very seriousness, and they want to do the best job they can. They want to be there for the kids, and that's a positive thing when you got coaches that their best interest is in those children.
The list of responsibilities for an athletic director is almost endless. We'd need a couple of tablets to put on there. You obviously knew what you were getting into, but even as you get into it, are you finding that that list becomes longer and the things you have to remember and go back and double check, are you finding that list being longer?
It started at 4 o'clock this morning. For some reason, I've adopted this over the years that when there's a lot on my mind, I wake up pretty early. And so 4 o'clock this morning, I started thinking about this list that you're talking about. And the list is very lengthy. You know, in past years' experience as an athletic director, 8, 9, 10 sports. Well, double that here at Ponca City because there's 20 sports that you got to deal with. And so it is. It's almost like a mountain, and it's almost scary at times to think about all the things that you got to try to control and be a part of and make sure that it's operating correctly.
Well, the first thing that hits Coach Winburn is with girls basketball, it was pretty much getting ready for those scrimmages in October and November. Now we're starting softball, which you obviously have to be a big part of. We're starting girls volleyball. The cross-country team will get set to run. And, of course, the biggest moneymaker in sports, and that is the football. So while you obviously watched the kids and enjoyed them in the classroom and at high school, you see it in a lot different light with officials and people to run concessions and run the gates and to make sure everything down to every detail is covered on all of these sports.
Exactly right. Now, I have a plus there. I have a positive, and that being in Sarah Kreger, because she knows what she's doing. She's got everything under control. She's already got it outlined. And actually, I go in and check with her, and Sarah, what do we need to do today? What is it that's prominent on our plate today? And she can give me the rundown. She is a great co-worker. And then, of course, we hired Rob Fry a couple of weeks ago as our assistant AD. And, of course, he's got tons of experience. And he, too, thinks a lot like I do. And he's very organized and very prepared. And so I surrounded myself with really good people. Many years ago when I was first at Newkirk, Ray Siner hired me. And Ray Siner's philosophy, and I respect this man tremendously, he said, if you hire good people, you're not going to have problems. Well, that's what they've done at Ponca City. We've hired good people that surround me, and so they're going to keep me out of trouble.
Well, you look at our situation where Jody Serber was,
Exactly.
you know, I have one of my best friends is Rusty Benson, but he'd be the first to tell you that exactly what you're saying is that there are people with titles, and then there are people that, you know, they know the ins and outs of a business, and Jody did that for the athletic department, not just for Rusty, but she did it for the athletic department. And then, of course, Sarah Kreger coming in. And Sarah's pretty new. I mean, in relative terms, about a year and a half. But when you get good people, it doesn't take them long to catch on. And once they catch on, that's who you go to. I find myself calling that person almost more than I call the athletic director, too.
Sure. Sarah can answer questions I don't even have a clue about right now because I haven't been here long enough. But Sarah already knows the ins and outs, so I'm going to gain a wealth of knowledge from her, just being around her and understanding how things operate. She's a great co-worker.
Fun part of it is you get to go to some softball games in the afternoon, and you get out of the classroom a little bit, and you may take in a girls volleyball game one day. The excitement of football, like you said, the newness of it probably will get you through some of the tough times.
Exactly, and you know, my heart's still dear to to football. Of course, I played it in high school, and I loved it, and coached it for several years. And in fact, I thought that's what I was going to do, was be a head football coach, and I took a different route. But my heart's still there, and I look forward to those times. And of course, volleyball and our cross country and our softball, I'm looking forward to that because just the excitement of watching those kids compete.
Won't be long before we're going to be talking exclusively about football. It might be a good chance to tell people that I know we'll have information on season tickets very soon. And if you've had season tickets, Sarah Kreger is who you'll probably want to call right now. But there's a lot of excitement for this year's team with the facility now, with the Robson and with Solon Stadium and with what we've got our facilities. There's a lot of optimism and a lot of excitement for the football season.
There is, and I've been visiting with Rob. In fact, I talked to him this morning, and he's very, very optimistic. And we're hoping that this will be the best season that Ponca City's had in quite some time. And we've got some good kids. We've got some kids that have really committed themselves to the program this summer. I know his workouts have been good. He's had good attendance, and a lot of kids that I would call them blue-collar kids, where they may lack in tremendous athletic ability, they're going to overcome that because of their work ethic. And so, I like those kind of kids, and I think Rob does too. And so, my encouragement to the community is come out and watch these young men play, and go watch our girls play softball and watch our volleyball team. Support all of that. And our cross country, I know Mr. Cheney does a great job with cross country. So let's get involved. These are our kids. Let's support them.
Very competitive, and our football, we have 3 home games in a row this year too. I know that's another thing you look at. You looked at the girls basketball schedule. Obviously, you made that out and would submit that. But now you look at all schedules, and in particular football. You look at who we have coming in. Football is the moneymaker. You have to do well, and so I'm sure that's another part of it that you look at, as well as the basketball schedule, because that's a big part of it as well.
It is, and that's already on my mind, is the financial part of it, because I have to take care of that. And just like anyone, whether it be your budget at home or whether it be a business, you've got to make those budgets work. And of course, ours is built around people coming to the games, and so we really want to try to get you to come out and watch us play and perform. I told in my interview, I told Mr. Simpson that one of the things that I want to try to do is try to motivate kids to be at our ball games. Try to again get that school spirit, and so we're working hard in some areas to try to change that and get kids more involved.
You mentioned the athletic budget in a day and time when that's what almost is overshadowing the athletics on the field. How are we doing? Are we in good shape with our budget? Do we have to make some drastic cuts? Or are we going into this year, in your mind, going to be able to do everything you want to do?
I think we're okay. You never have all the funds that you want. There's always things that you wish you could afford to get. But we're going to operate within this budget, and I think we're going to meet our needs. I think there was really no cuts that we made. We've got a full coaching staff. In fact, we hired a young man this morning to add to our football program and basketball program. So I think we're in good shape.
Absolutely, and we might also mention that it's not only the high school, but you oversee the athletic programs down in the middle school kids as well. So you oversee all that.
I do. It's 8th grade, 9th grade, and varsity level play, and so I've kind of got my eye on all of those areas. And so we want to continue to be competitive in all those areas, and we want to continue to try to fund all those programs properly.
We encourage people to support those young kids because those are the Wildcats of the future too.
That's right. It's a lot of people don't understand that, but the key to our future is those 8th grade kids that are coming into our program. And first and foremost, we want them to be successful. We want them to experience participation in athletics at its best, and we want them to be encouraged to come back and play next year.
I'm so happy to report that Coach Winburn will be coaching girls basketball this year. I'm certainly not going to put him on the spot any farther than that, because I think that there are a lot of things that Coach and everybody want to look at. But you are going to coach this year, and I'm personally very happy with that. Am I safe to say that some decisions may be made after that? You may coach, you may not. That's something that you'll have to decide.
Health is your key. As long as I can stay healthy, I'm going to do it. I'm not Superman by any means, and I'm going to be stretched pretty thin trying to cover all the different areas and do a good job with that. I don't want to slight that responsibility to take care of girls basketball, but I don't want to slight girls basketball either. So I'm going to try to do both, and my intentions are to do this as long as I can stay healthy. That's
terrific. I know, like you, September 9th, when we have that first home football game, there'll be some excitement in the air. It might even be like you coaching a game again to make sure everything's all ready to go. And not only will it be exciting, it'll be fun.
It will. And again, I want to try to, I'm not going to try to coach, but I want to be involved in those programs. I want them to visually see me there and support them. And there'll be some hard times, there'll be some good times. And I want to be a part of it, whether it's good or whether it's bad, because that's what you have to do.
Congratulations again. I know it's been a busy summer, but summer's over. It's time to go back to school, and I know that you're looking forward to, there's a routine you get in when school starts, I think that everybody gets comfortable with, and until you get to that point, everything's probably going to be kind of day to day until we hit that routine.
I don't do good in the summer because I'm a routine person, and my wife can be the first one to tell you that I'm kind of hard to deal with in the summer. because my routine's broken. I don't know what I need to do or where I need to go. So I'm looking forward to getting back in that routine and getting on schedule again.
We look forward to having volleyball featured on our Coach's Corner show, cross country, girls softball. Of course, each week we'll have Coach Fry on with us, and then as we get closer to the winter sports, it's going to be a fun year, and the man leading our athletic program, the new athletic director for the Ponca City High School Wildcats, Coach Dwight Winburn, our special guest on this week's edition of Coach's Corner.